welcome back to the channel. I am Cher. Today we're going to do another eyeshadow palette rankings video for the month, and this is a monthly thing I've started doing where we go through all of my palettes that I have used for the month. So this time it's for the month of February because it is almost over. By the time this airs, it might be March already, I don't know, but I'm at the very end of the month here, so I wanted to take a look back at all of the palettes I've been keeping track of that I used in February, and we are going to rank them, and I'm going to tell you why I ranked them the way they are. Keep in mind, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're really bad if they're at the bottom. It just means relative to the other ones I tried, and sometimes I think about extra things like portability of travel, ease of use, whether it's an everyday versus artistic. Like, I'm trying to look at it the whole big picture, but they all have different uses sometimes. So I'm trying to explain that reasoning to you. Another thing I'm going to start trying to do in here, this is going to be the new part, is I'm going to try to share pictures as much as possible of the looks I've created with these palettes. This was something I was trying to brainstorm because I'd love to do like a project pan for you guys, but it's really hard to do because it could take months for me to go through one palette. I will never pan. I probably won't ever pan certain palettes. So anyway, instead of doing that, it's a great way for me to be able to I just love playing with palettes and creating different looks from like one palette. And so this will help us track and document a little bit. I've been taking pictures as much as I can of my looks using each palette. So I'm going to insert that in here too. And that gives you an idea of how to use these palettes if you have any of these as well. So anyway, if these things interest you and you want to check out this good old eyeshadow palette ranking, then stick around and we will hop right in. Okay guys, I've brought out my pile here. So a lot of these palettes have come from BoxyCharm or Ipsy, beauty boxes, recent mystery boxes that I've brought to you. A lot of things you've already seen on the channel in the last month from unboxings where I've played around with the palettes. Some I have videos of me playing with it, others I don't. Maybe you've seen the shorts on them. That's where a lot of these came from. The one that I'm not going to include, and I forgot to mention this last month, is my professional makeup palette. I have a customized big palette of a bunch of single shadows in it that I use for my clients in my pro makeup kit, and I've definitely been using that this month. So these are going to be more my personal use palettes that I've been using and testing out on the channel. Keep in mind it was also February, the month of Valentine's, so I was doing a lot of Valentine's looks as well. So I'm kind of ranking it based on the season as well and where I'm at this season. So like I was really in that pink and red mode. Okay, so that factored into my decision as well. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. Okay, and so in this month we used 18 palettes. So, you know, a good bit for a month of what, 29 days. So 18 out of 29. Yeah. So number 18. I hate to rank this last. This came from my subscriber and friend, and so she was super sweet to gift this to me, and I love the MAC, these little MAC compacts. I have another one similar, and I love this little design. It's like kaleidoscope. After playing with it though, I feel like I'm probably just not going to reach for it a lot. It's got like the purple, you know, it's very like cool tones. I mean, it was beautiful, but I was very limited on like the looks. I just was out of creativity on this one. So it ended up ranking last, and it doesn't mean that it's bad. I don't think it's a bad palette at all. It's just as far as like me reaching for it and feeling inspired to create something with it isn't really there with this one. So that's in the last place, but I'm going to show you like the look that I did do. I was kind of going with a halo eye on this, and it turned out very subtle halo eye. So I think that's where it was. I've only used one look from it, so that might not be the best judgment on it. Okay, number 17, we have the Pear Nova eyeshadow palette that we got in Ipsy Glam bag at the very beginning of this month in February. So the way that they're falling with the dates, they send it to me really early these days, my PR boxes of Ipsy. And I think I filmed like right on the 1st or something, but then I just filmed the March ones today, actually. So they're both falling in the month of February of when I did the filming. So one was for February and one was for March. We'll talk about the March one soon. So this was the February one, and we got 3 different palettes. So it's not that I didn't love this palette. I really was impressed with this palette for Ipsy Glam Bag, like wow. And it made a very ultra pigmented look. And honestly, of the 3 looks I made, I think the one I made of this one was my favorite because it was so much more pigmented and just a statement look, okay? But as far as me reaching for it again, like I just, I mean, there will be like one type of look I want to make with it, probably those ultra reds and purples. It came out a lot more like on the red, like warm red side than it looks in the pan, to be honest with you. And then that yellow, like if I wanted to create red and yellow, if I want to do the Seminoles look, I'll do it. But, I don't know, for some reason right now, I'm just not feeling like reaching towards it. So it's ranked in last, but it was still a really great palette. At number 16, okay, so I need to play with this more before I really make a good judgment call. That's this Limoncello ColourPop palette that we got in I got in the mystery box. I mean, I was so excited to play with it. I was so feeling it. When I went to go put it on the eyes though, like I just felt very limited in what to make. I went with the blue to make a pop of it. So it's really just like kind of a certain color story from this. I definitely could make more of the lemons and something with the blue. But other than that, it's mostly just neutrals and like golds and stuff. So it was still really fun though. Like a certain look that I'll make with it, but it's only towards the end of rankings just because, again, am I going to reach for it a lot? Probably not a lot. I'm probably going to reach for it when I want a spring inspired look or like lemon inspired look, or, you know, if I'm feeling very lemon, you know, Italy, then, but not on a regular everyday basis, probably. Got a lot of ColourPop going on here, okay? And so another one from that ColourPop box, this one was the Over the Cocoon. I mean, I really loved it. It made a great look. It's just that it's only going to make one particular look for me, and that was the pinks. And I had a look in the Huda Beauty powders and undertones video that I did. We did pink on one side of the face and then kind of the more peach one. Most of you guys voted for the pink side for me, which I did love, but I don't know, I was feeling more drawn to the peach side. Just it's softer and lighter and more subtle, I guess. So, okay, so these are the next 2 rankings actually. So this was 15 and 14 for me. So this ranked a little slightly higher than this one. And there's only, you know, 5 shades in it. Now, I typically actually like those because they're great for travel. But again, they're going to kind of give you like one main look. And you know, I liked it. I felt pretty in it. I felt pretty in this one too. Just ranked lower than a lot of these other palettes because they were just some really good palettes this month is all. So both of those were also in the mystery box for ColourPop. Then we have this one, Down to Earth is the name of it. And I got this one also from my subscriber and friend. And it took me a while to get to it and try it out. The reason I ranked it higher is like, I love the smoky look that it made. It's very, like a very just matte, smoky, super easy quad, very portable for travel. It also fits in my little makeup stand here so I can easily grab it. So this is an easy little smoky, quick look for every day. Now, the other reason it's ranking so high for me is utility of it too. I've been using this black shade for my eyeliner lately. I don't even do an eyeliner pen. I find that I'm working better. Actually, I'm wearing it today. This is this black shade right here. Okay. So, it's been easier for me to work with using just a black eyeliner than a pen. You can smudge it out. You can make it more subtle. You have more control over it. It's not, you know, on my mature skin, it just isn't, you know, wearing into hooded eyes as much as a liquidy or like gel, you know, eyeliner or something. And I don't really like the pencils as much because they scratch and hurt when you put them on. So this has been the perfect solution. So it's so easy because this has kind of been my go-to like eyeliner lately that I just grab out of my little makeup stand. So for utility and function and all, I've got it ranked, you know, fairly up there. And then similarly, we still have that Lottie London. Y'all been seeing this in my last few because it's so convenient. It's a perfect, just like peachy, pinky, neutrally shades that goes with everything. I feel like it looks pretty good on me. It's light and bright, and it's so portable for travel, and it sits in my little stand that's super easy because it fits. And you can see I'm even starting to pan one of the shades. Can you believe that? So I've still got it ranked fairly high just because of the utility of it and wearability, and it's pretty. I mean, it's been working for me for my everyday look now. Next, we have the Wonder Beauty palette that we just got in our March. I say we. I just got in the March box because I don't know that y'all are probably just making your choices now for BoxyCharm. So this is the Wonder Beauty Trailblazer palette, and I absolutely love it. It is so pretty, so shimmery. This is what I have on right now because I just finished the try-on video. So these are the colors of it. So as you see though, they're very subtle. These are not ultra pigmented shimmers. This is made to be like a very soft, earthy, very feminine, but earthy, shimmery goddess blend. And so that's part of why I ranked it not as like super high, even though I love this palette. It's just that it's only going to create certain soft, shimmery, looks for me. So, it's not like at the top or anything, but it's somewhere in the middle of my rankings just because it's so darn pretty. All right, and then we have the good old Jaclyn Hill Morphe. I don't even remember what I used this for this month, but apparently I did use it for something. I truly don't remember what. Maybe did I make a Valentine's look with it? I really don't remember what I used this for. I might have used the black out of it, and so I threw it in here. Anyway, whatever I used it for, this is just one of my go-to ultra versatile palettes. It is so good for everything. I know it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. And I just love it so much because it's got these very soft, like almost pink tinted shimmers. You got your neutrals and you got your warms and these like almost burgundies. They just make such pretty looks, but then you've also got smoky, and you even have a pop of color here for like spring coming up. So I've ranked it somewhat high because it's still just such a favorite and such a versatile palette that I will probably never get rid of. Sorry. I said what I said. It's one of those OG palettes, even if it's Jaclyn Hill. Okay. And then we also have the Soft Glam palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the one that I was trying to pan for you guys, and I've kind of given up, or I'm not so much giving up. I will probably still continue to work on it, but I don't think I'm going to try to do a video on it because it just will take me too long to go through all the looks. But I've made several of them, and I'm going to document those looks for you. I might even have some reels or shorts on different look ideas. It's still another classic ride or die of mine. I'll never get rid of this palette either until I pan it. I've made some of the pinks that are really, they turn into more of like a rose colored, like it's not as soft as it looks in the pan. It's more, I don't know how to describe that color of pink, but it's not, it's like a certain color of pink. But I've also made some fabulous like yellows and very like fall, orangey brownie. Like this is a great fall palette. But then also smoky and stuff. So I've just been working on different looks with it. And so it's another one that's just such a versatile ride or die classic for me that it's gonna be up there in a lot of my rankings. Next, we have the Ace Beauté Mystic Romance palette that we got in BoxyCharm for February. And I made this one of my Valentine's looks, is that I wore this on Valentine's Day. And it is so darn pretty. I was so excited about this one, but it's not ranked at the top for a couple reasons. One, the formula was a little, the shimmers were fabulous, but the mattes were very hard to blend. And I heard that from other people too. I was kind of thinking I thought it was me while I was doing it. I was like, man, my skills are just off. I'm just having an off day when I was playing with it. But I realized, I think it's because they just didn't blend. And so when I started hearing other people say that, I realized, okay, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just my skills. And then the second thing of why it's ranked a little lower is it makes a lot more purpley looks than I thought. Like, yeah. So, but what I love it for and why I've ranked it somewhat high is because of the pinks and reds in the middle here. So if you stick to just those, it will make a really pretty red. The only thing though is the only shimmers along that color storyline are these, and it makes that ultra, almost has like a yellow pop in it and a shift. And it's like, I would love another shimmer that has just a plain like pink or softer, all one, I don't know. But the look that I created with it for Valentine's Day was stunning and I loved it. And I loved the purple that I made too. It just wasn't what I was expecting. So overall, I ended up really liking the palette, but there were some negatives. So it's still kind of in the middle of my rankings too, but not at the top. Next, we have the Skin Feed Cosmetics Duchess palette. And I always love this palette so much. And I always bring it out for Valentine's Day. This was in PR one year. It just makes the perfect like reds. I mean, the perfect red tint. I can always make like red mattes. And then it has that white in there. I did that fun little cut crease with this, but then it also has these fun shimmers too. So it makes some fabulous looks. So I still love this one. And this was another Valentine's palette for me this month. So yeah, we're getting towards the top here. So this was ranking at 7. So we're getting up there, guys. Next, we have the Dominique Essential Palette, Dominique Cosmetics Essential Palette. And, I really love this palette. Like, it was so pretty. I'd say though, I was a little more limited on these shimmers in here. I would love to have had another, like, just like I say, I keep saying this over and over again. I'm so drawn to like pretty soft pinks. And this is a little more on the lavendery pinks. And it's also a very subtle, non-pigmented palette. So it's not very pigmented, but I think that's so great for just your everyday, such a subtle, soft, elegant look that I've ranked it still pretty high and really, really still dig this palette. And I love that there's kind of like a matte for each shimmer, like a matte that goes with the shimmers here. And then you have these smokies on the outside too. It makes it easier to work with and like makes sense. And I just love the like luxe packaging. So overall, really, really liking this palette. Okie doke. I've also got that Urban Decay Naked Heat. I think I've been having this one rank really high in the last few videos still. I have just been so thrilled with my Urban Decay palettes, to be honest with you. They have just made such fire looks. And actually, I wore this one. So I wore that Mystic Romance for Valentine's Day, but I actually wore this one for my Valentine's date. So I went more smoky and sexy with this one, but it had just a touch of the right like reds and like maroon colors that it worked for. It was like a Valentine's smoky, and I had a dress that was like, I didn't actually wear red on my date. I wore like a brown floral, and I just felt really pretty. But it was also the same day as my sister-in-law's baby shower, so it was like I was trying to kind of go with something that worked for both, you know. My date and her shower in the morning. It was like a little brunch. And so I kind of matched this accordingly and I loved it. I felt sexy. I felt pretty. So still a very favorite. I like the Urban Decay Naked palettes. I've become a believer now. Okay. So now we're in the top, that was number 5. So we're in the top 5 category here. So coming in at number 4, I ranked this one, the Ace Beauté Flare palette. I've got this one ranked so high because there's something about this that just captured my heart. I love the vibrant colors in this. It is just screaming, like, I keep being drawn to like wanting to play with this one a lot more. And I really love the look that I created with it. This was from the Chic Beauty box and I did do a full try on it for you guys. It's just these vibrant colors. They're just drawing my name. I'm so into these like it's the deep colors of this that are just gorgeous. And it was great to work with. Better than the Mystic Romance palette, I think, like formula wise. So yeah, I'm like really in love with this palette still. I haven't gotten a chance to play a lot more, but I'm dying to. So like I ranked it high because of just how I feel drawn and inspired by the color story on it. Okay, and then ranked very high, guys. I don't know what it was, but I just really took to this little Shades by Sean Life of the Party Volume 2. I posted this in my community tab for you guys, the look. This was from March's uh, Ipsy Glam Bag, and it's just so darn pretty. Hold on, let me open it. Okay, it's just so pretty. It's the perfect color of pink for me. And that pop of shimmer right there is the perfect, perfect, perfect shimmer to me. This is the pink that I love. This is what I'm drawn to, is this color story right here. This is what I'm always looking for to wear. And I felt pretty in it. I was able to work with it really well. It's so portable and handy for travel. I'd say the only negative on it is it's hard to open. Ugh, like my nails are all chipped up because of just trying to open this darn thing. So that's the only thing about it, is I don't like how hard it is to open, but besides that, so cute. Loved the look, loved the color story. Formula was good and it was in a little Ipsy Glam Bag, you know, and gonna be great for travel, and it's gonna fit in my little thing to wear it, like, you know, it's just pretty enough to be, it's an everyday look I can wear, but at the same time is not just like a neutral. It feels so soft and feminine and pretty. So it's one I'm going to be so drawn to every day, probably, to wear. All right, now we're down to the last two. Y'all are going to be shocked by my number one, I think. And I'll explain why. But number two is still my good old Huda Beauty Nude Palette. Again, it's the pinks for me. It's the pinks and the sparkles. Like, this is so me. This is my little Barbie palette. Like, this is me all the way, ultra. And I've used it a lot in bridal makeup, but it just makes so many gorgeous pinks and shimmers, and like the true like party pinks and shimmers, like the glitter style on the eyes. And so this was definitely one I used at, you know, for Valentine's month for sure, all the pink. It is very hard to top and beat this palette, and I love, you know, Huda Beauty formula is great. Everything, I mean, just everything about this palette. So that's number two. All right, number one. Are you ready? You're gonna be like, that's number one, huh? I'll explain why. I just am so in love with the Ciete London Brazilian Glow palette. Okay, here's why. Look at it. Okay, I know, like, some people just may be like, well, I think it's blah. I have found this to be so versatile for me. Now, it's versatile in the sense of, no, it's not like ultra color and ultra like crazy pops of whatever color stories. It's just so versatile for somebody who wants the soft, feminine pinks and neutrals looks. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it makes such beautiful bridal looks. It makes beautiful Valentine's Day looks, which I did use this for Valentine's. I made amazing holiday looks out of it. I'm just finding this to be like my favorite. This is probably my favorite palette for just feeling really pretty, for these just soft, soft, glowing colors. They have all the right shades of mattes and all the right mixes of shimmers. So this is just my very like versatile palette. Now I will say that I use this shimmer and this shimmer the most. Like, those are the two I'm the most drawn to in this palette. I haven't done a whole lot with the purples. I'm so drawn to more of these soft, it's like the soft shimmers in it that I love so much. And these shades right here. So yeah, it does tend to be more the pinks, but it's just beautiful. I love how it sits on my skin too. It makes me look and feel. So I decided this is my number one. Yeah, for that reason. So that was everything, guys. Do you disagree or agree? Do you have any of these palettes? I know some of y'all probably have some from Ipsy. yeah, that's everything. It was a fun month of lots of playing. I really enjoyed it. And I just love doing this video because it's really challenging me to play with all my palettes. And I love creating looks and being challenged to see like what I can create out of a palette. So probably like one of my favorite contents pieces to do. So let me know if you want me to continue it and let me know your thoughts on these and what palettes you've been using for the month of February. I would love to hear. All right, guys, so if you love this kind of content and all the more fun, and as you see, I do a lot of beauty boxes, obviously, and you love beauty boxes and seeing what all's inside, I do the spoilers and the unboxings and the try-ons. You'll want to stick around my channel, pop that subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you don't miss all the fun, and I'll be catching you on the next one. Bye, guys.